Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the Pulaski County Fiscal Court. We'd like to start off the Pledge of Allegiance. We've got a special guest with us today, Jeff Henderson. I've asked him if you'd lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you all will allow me, I'd like to start off with a moment of silence. We've had a few families that have been public servants in one way or another to Pulaski County that have passed away this week. So I'd like to observe a moment of silence for Rodney Whitus, for Wilbur Oakes, and also Kenneth Hargis. If you all take a moment with me, please. Thank you. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda will be the approval of minutes from our previous meeting. You've all received a copy of those. What would be your pleasure?
Motion.
Second. Motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Have no old business to discuss, but we do have new business. First item there is we need to request to advertise for the reverse salt auction coming up. Need permission from the court to do that.
Motion. Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
No.
Any opposed? And likewise, we have a request to advertise for our fiscal year 18-19 bids.
Motion. Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, do we send out anything on that to people or they have to come in? Stoner?
We'll advertise that in the newspaper. Apparently, we're not allowed to solicit people to come in. We just put it out. Is that correct, Mark?
Correct. Yep.
But they advertise two different occasions in the paper, and then we'll take it up.
We should also put it on the website.
So we've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Then we need to request permission to surplus items for our auction on May 1st. You all have got a copy of all the, I think, the list as of what's there today, right? Is that pretty well complete, or will there be more added in? You know, Dan?
That should be pretty much it. From the sheriff's department, got all the departments.
So we just need a
Motion.
got a motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And we've got our next scheduled court meeting falls on Election Day, so we need to move that meeting, make it a special called meeting. We'd like to do it on May 29th, the Tuesday after, if it pleases the court. I need a motion to do that.
Motion. Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And then I've got, I guess this is a contract we have with Tyco Simplex Grinnell, and it's just a renewal of the contract. Looks like the annual price of this is a fire and life safety systems, and they do inspections. But the annual contract price is $2,066.10, and I just need permission to renew this contract. Need a motion and a second.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That'll bring us to our department reports. Anybody from the sheriff's office? I don't think I saw anybody here this morning. Jailer. And Porter said he
Can I just make an announcement?
Sure.
National Day of Prayer is next Thursday at 12 o'clock at the Judicial Plaza there in the mountain area. And we're going to have to request everybody to be there. We're going to have special prayer for all the elected officials and all of those that are running for office. So we're going to bring them down and have a special prayer.
Thank you. Linda, do you have anything today?
What day was that, Clyde?
That is next Thursday, the 4th, I think, of May.
Third.
Third of May.
Stacy Houghton, Public Safety.
One thing, Judge.
I just need to ask the court's permission to sign a contract back with the K-9 Search Incorporated of Kentucky. They're recognized search dog teams, what they are through the state. We do a year-to-year contract with them, and it's no cost to the county. We're just it's an affiliation paper, more or less.
We need a motion to approve that then?
Motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And we're hosting a fire school over at the training center May 4th, 5th, and 6th, so we'll have a lot of people over there.
Next, it'll be our road department. Jordan?
First thing I have is approval of your road work request.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion on road work request? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
That's all that, Jason.
Next thing will be the 3,000 ton of various rock for the month of May.
Motion.
Second. We have a motion and a second to purchase rock. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Motion carries.
One last thing, we talked about the 250 ton of hot mix for a patch trailer and patching machine. That'll be for countywide 250 ton.
250 ton?
Yes, sir.
Motion.
Second. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. Aaron, nothing today? 911, solid waste, Danny Masson.
Just need to ask permission to hire 3 seasonal employees, Blake Burton, Trevor Smith, and Caleb Mosier.
Motion.
Second. We have a motion and a second to hire these seasonal employees. Any further discussion?
Is that on you all or on us?
All in
It's
favor?
of us.
Any opposed?
And this Saturday's our hazardous waste event at the recycling center from 8 to 2, so if you have anything, bring it out that day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Danny. Our animal shelter is, I think he's with us today, is he? Tourism, I don't see her with us today. How about brings us to our treasurer then?
Well, I do have a few things. The first item I have, excuse me, is transfers in the jail fund. This is from line item to line item to make the line items balance to at least 0. It's not adding any money to or from the budget.
Motion. Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The second item I have is fund transfers in the amount of $50,000 to industrial development, from the general fund and from occupational tax to the general fund to balance that out.
Motion.
Motion. We already had a motion. You got a second?
Second.
All right, we got a motion by Mr. Wilson, second by Mr. Maxey. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The last item I have for you is, I have given you, as required by the Department for Local Government, I have to have a budget into you, a working budget into you by the 1st of May. So you should have that on your desk in front of you. I would like to request that at this time we set a date to do a budget workshop so we can go over the budget in depth and make any changes you all might have or requests, other requests before we have a first reading. And Martin, do we need a motion to accept?
I think that's always best.
I think that's always
We have a
per norm.
motion then to accept the first draft of the budget. Is it first draft or just working draft? What do you want to call
I
it?
just put a working draft.
Motion.
Accept a working draft by Mr. Strunk. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
And is there a good time that we can go ahead and set this budget workshop? Therefore, we could probably do a first reading. I hate to say it, but DLG's being awful slow on things, so the sooner we can get it into them is gonna be better. Next Tuesday work for anybody?
Tuesday, unless it's afternoon, I could do afternoon.
Whatever's good for you all.
Tuesday at 1 o'clock work?
Said at lunch.
Hmm,
We said at lunch, maybe we'd have work and lunch.
we can have work and lunch.
Said at 12.
Tuesday, I've got a doctor's appointment at 11, so,
Tell them to hurry it up.
yeah, I'll tell them to hurry. So Tuesday at 12 then, y'all want to do that? Okay, let's plan on that being our workshop,
Tuesday, May the 1st.
May the 1st, Tuesday.
Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, next item on the agenda then is our citizens' comments. I want to brag a little bit. We had our second annual Pork in the Park Festival this weekend at Pulaski Park. We had, I think, about 10 vendors there showing off their abilities to do barbecue and chicken, ribs, pulled pork, burgers, and beans. So there's a lot of competition there. I want to welcome, if I can, Josh Anderson, who actually coordinated this event. Say thanks to Josh and ask him to come and give us a little report on what he experienced this weekend.
Thank you all very much, first, for allowing us to have it down there. It's the perfect setting, water and electric for all the teams, cook sites, everything like that. We estimated there was around 1,000 people in attendance, walking around, everything like that. Had over 300 People's Choice votes. They paid $5, walked around to the teams, got to try their beans and their pork, come back and vote on that. Some teams ran out of food, but that's a good thing. We apologized to people and didn't hardly expect the crowd that we had, so that's a good thing when the crowd's more than what we anticipated. With going with that and your all support, it was a weekend in May that normally the campground wouldn't be sold out. It was sold out, all sites that we could, hence the water was up on some of them, but we can't control that. With that, their entry fees pay for their campsites too. So this was at no cost to the county. We did have county volunteers down there working and everything, taking the money, everything like that. So that was good. Had a couple of hiccups. We had a water line break. The team set up and it broke. They had it fixed within an hour. Teams were so appreciative, just amazed that it got fixed that quick. So that's a praise from them and everything. We're looking at growing this, want to look at doing it as an annual event, Want to try to keep the third weekend in April. It doesn't conflict with too much else going on, we don't think. The teams like it. We do have a chance of rain, that's part of it, everything like that. But looking at growing next year, maybe having a dessert contest that's open county-wide to all the residents, that they can come down on Friday night and submit their desserts and stuff. So we appreciate the support. We'll look at doing it again next year. And any proceeds that we make from this does go to Project 5810. We had one team that won one of the categories that donated their money back to 5810. So once we get everything figured out, Joan will let you all know how much we get to donate to them from this year. So again, thanks. If you got any questions, yell at me, and we look forward to doing it again.
Don't go anywhere. I want to take this opportunity, since we have it. Josh has been a faithful partner to Pulaski County Park since, I guess, the last 3 years. He's been very instrumental in bringing new ideas and new energy to the park. He's worked with our staff. This project is a successful, and Josh, I'd like to award you on behalf of the court with our highest honor as the Pulaski County Colonel. If you come and accept that, I'd like to give Josh a hand for his. Let's get a picture here with him. Let's get up here. Hold that. We all proud. Joan, you're part of this. They go. Hold on a second.
Don't turn sideways.
County attorney, give me some legal advice. Got to come up front.
Okay, I'm missing Mike. Count of three. 1, 2, 3.
All right. Unless you, gentlemen of the court, have anything else, we'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion second. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you.